Okay, I just wanted to go over some of the trade setups today and this week. We've been seeing a common theme here with momentum stocks. The stronger stocks continue to get stronger. The weaker stocks continue to get weaker. And as day traders, we want to take advantage of those patterns and that movement while it's occurring here. Um, and I'm going to demonstrate it in some of these images here and show you how the momentum is working for breakouts and then how the momentum is working for breakdowns for these weak stocks as well. Um, Today, Tesla had a pretty decent breakout, and here are some of the normal variables that I see with breakouts. And Tesla had a lot of the same variables. They're not all, not every single breakout is the same, and so you always have to be prepared for that. But you can see here that uh, Tesla had made sort of a double bottom and then um, had a couple days range here. And this yellow box here on the 2 minute shows that price was making higher lows up against the top of the daily range. Here's the ATR, $59. And I mean, you can see here for 3.5 hours today, price barely moved in Tesla for 3.5 hours. It moved about 25% of its ATR. So that's a huge signal right away. I mean, Tesla is in play literally every day, um, and now its new ATR is $59, and it's compressing $20 for 3.5 hours. At the same time, it's creating a pattern that we all know, which is an ascending triangle up against previous days, the previous 2 days highs. So pretty cut and dry there. And then you can see new volume comes in as soon as it eventually does break up. So all of those, I guess this is, I don't know if that's 4 or 5 reasons to take this trade or at least to attempt it, but I think those are more than reasons enough. Once it did break above here, it wasn't quite as clean as I've ever seen, but what it did do is it held the $1,112 daily level. So basically, the first daily level it broke, price did get a little inconsistent because it then broke the next daily level, but then came back down. However, the whole time it did hold that. So while it was holding that, you're basically telling yourself, okay, it's still long. It's long until it breaks back under that, and then it might be a failed breakout. So this was super clean. Volume continued to come in, and then even some more little pops of volume came in when it made a new high again. So it had multiple leg ups. You just had to be patient with it. So, and these breakouts I've been seeing all week, off and on for the last month, especially with the tech stocks, AMD, Apple, Nvidia, etc., etc. So let's move on here. So Facebook today, I traded Facebook, and it wasn't as clean of a breakout, but it did break out to me. So you can see here that we had a high here at 353, then it sold down for a few days, then got back up, and then I combined all of these 4 days and found a top here at 348, and it was sort of flagging up against it. And when it did break it, it came in with new volume. So to me, it's pretty much a breakout. It's not near as clean as the Tesla one, because Facebook has had some big wicks to the top side, and it's been a lot higher before. Um, but it was a clear breakout from here all the way up, and you could see it was trying to get up to this previous daily high. That was my main target. It didn't get all the way up there, so I partialed quite a bit in this box. But you can see here that I could have gotten in here, could have gotten in here, and it's just another breakout. It's a breakout that didn't continue, but nonetheless a breakout, and that was pretty clean. So, like I was saying, you could do this the opposite way for all of the stocks that are hurting through this this transition of money here. So like PayPal and Disney and some of these other ones that just, if they have any kind of negative press release or negative stats in their earnings, they end up just getting crushed right now. And then they just continue to sell off. So PayPal is a good example. It's just been weak here for a while. And so recently got down to 200, bounced. Some people were positive about that, got above in this gap, but never, it couldn't continue, and then got back in this range. And then today, man, today was just a perfect breakdown. So just quite, it's just the complete opposite of like Tesla or Apple. You just have an amazing psychological level of 200. You have, the stock is completely in play. It's been in play for a while, especially once it eventually when it gapped down here. This whole few weeks has been in play, and then it made this 200 level even stronger by holding it for 2 weeks, and then eventually bust through it. So you can see right here, as soon as it busts through it, we get some volume, and it does a perfect retest, which is perfectly in line with a VWAP. I mean, it's just so cut and dry, such a perfect short here. You can enter right there, risking above, risking above maybe the 250 cents, because this was either that or above here. I mean, the idea is not, you don't need to be so perfect, because this is, if it's a daily break up or if it's a daily break down, these things trend. They have momentum in that direction. So this does not need to be perfect. If you want to get in there perfectly, you can, and you can get an amazing RVR. But if you mess it up, the idea is just to get in somewhere in here, because it is going down today. So, and that's the way I think of it, as especially on the way up. Let's see, PayPal had pretty good volume, 115%, even though this whole last 2 weeks probably had higher RVOL anyways. You can see here that we were only at 50% of its ATR. Actually, we were only at about 30% of its ATR when it broke down through that. So you had all the potential to go down. And then we almost had new volume coming in because of the momentum. And so I just basically reset the ATR on the breakdown. And you can see here how it moved pretty much moved over an ATR. So what we need to do is we need to find these stocks that are trending down, find the stocks that are trending up. When they're trending up, you buy the dips or set alerts, wait for breakouts, set daily ranges on the pullbacks, wait for the next breakout. Vice versa for the downtrending stocks. Wait for them to pull back or wait for them to consolidate like PayPal did. It's trending down, gaps down. Give it a few days, put some price alerts on top and bottom. You see it's coming down here. Okay, this morning we get a price alert. Hey, it's near 200. Boom, it breaks under 200. I guess you could put a price alert under 200 if you want. That way you see it and then you wait for the pullback and then you get in. It's just, we should just be doing this with all these stocks. BA, another good example. It has been trending up here for this month, but just like BABA or these other stocks, for the most part, these companies have been trending down. These are just minor pullbacks in the bigger trends that's happening. So, I mean, look at these ranges that BABA's been creating, like just perfect ranges to trade around. Like this one was amazing. It just happened to gap around it, so you didn't get a break down or break up because it gapped. Even though I guess you could have gone long here, probably would have wanted to pull back and retest and then go. But anyways, makes another range here. I'm not sure if there was negative news or not today, but this is the breakdown / getting back in this range, which it also broke through. So just amazing ranges on a downtrending stock. And then you get the breakdown out of a range. That's all clear to go short. And it doesn't have to be perfect either. So you can see here, here's the yellow box, bottom of the daily range, pretty much opens right at it, which we know that when price opens right at the edge of a range, it gives a good ORB. So, and that's what happened pretty much right out of the gate. Opening range breakout, boom, and then a 5-minute breakout, boom. So just getting in somewhere in this area with a stop wherever you want, wide or small, you get short, and then it trends. It's a breakdown. You have conviction and volume on the way down. So that's just another one. NVIDIA. Okay, so here's another breakout that happened today on NVIDIA. However, these are some variables that can tell you, hey, this breakout isn't acting like I want it to, so I'm going to either get out or I'm going to lower my risk. So NVIDIA, super strong lately, has been seeing some consolidation. And then today it was pushing up against all-time high here, then pulled back and then came up and then flagged. And so I went long right in here. So this technically is a breakout of all-time high. So, I mean, you can maybe say, well, this daily setup isn't amazing. It's a little bit extended, but nonetheless, you know, it's a breakout. So, but what happens was you get a spike in volume, but then you almost get a even more volume on the selling. And then this is a red flag to me when it breaks and then it pulls back, but then it gets back inside the level. So this was all-time high right here, or somewhere around here. And when it breaks it and then comes back in underneath it, that normally doesn't happen. I do a lot of breakouts, and to me, those tell me that this isn't going to be a clean breakout. If it is, it's going to be difficult. It might actually stay along the level, and which is kind of what it did in my mind. Or it'll come down, and maybe it won't break out, or it'll just be inconsistent. It'll come down and it'll just kind of hover around here, and then maybe it'll break out later. So it kind of tells me it's not ready, or it's not going to be a good breakout. So I quickly got out of it and then I stopped trading it. Other than that, I mean, this is an ATR, only 50% of an ATR. It was about 11:45. We still had plenty of time to get another move. You just wanted to see this volume continue. That's all. I mean, you can see you had the pop. This was more like shorts getting squeezed out and then volume faded. So even though it did stay up, got above, see it came back down to zero, it was tricky. So this is not what you want to see in a breakout. And then Amazon. Okay, so this is just a side, just another setup, which is interesting. So Amazon, super strong. You know, we've been talking about this might potentially break all-time high, and you know, on the higher time frame, this is a really big flag consolidation. This is going to make a big move, kind of like the Russell the Russell 1000, the small caps IWM did something similar and then made a big move up. But what was interesting here was we had the first move, and then the second move today, it actually did test all-time high, but then there was news that came out about like the partnership between Rivian and Amazon and some issues with the cars and the batteries or something. I just thought that it was very funny how it just happened to be negative news came out right when it hits the top here. It just shows how these technical levels, especially like levels that everyone can see, you know, even the newbie investor can see. They can see, oh, it's about to hit all-time high, but then negative news comes out. You know, market makers don't think it's ready to go up. You know, maybe they want to accumulate this longer. So what do? They drop some stupid news, whatever kind of news. You know, Amazon will fix it, and then it makes price sell off. And So you can see here it pretty much does sort of a trend line break here, and then trends down, and you get a nice short here. Yeah, so that level 3750 was pretty much right here. So you could have maybe people were eventually looking to go long here. Then once it fails, like I said on that NVIDIA, you want to see it break and then retest and hold and then new volume come in. However, if that doesn't happen, then you could get a potential sell-off, a failed breakout, and that's exactly what happened. This would have been a good short, maybe underneath here, or you can see how it holds VWAP and then breaks VWAP, and you could have gone short right there, and then it trends down. So it just shows how the market makers use those news at key technical levels to have price bounce. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. Again, just repeating what I said, that, don't be afraid to take breakouts. Don't be afraid to take those breakdowns, because the momentum is still super duper strong. The strong are getting stronger, the weak are getting weaker, and you have that on your side. So the probabilities are on our side with that stuff. So if you get a good setup, then you have even more probabilities there.